Why does the Dalai Lama lives in India? I don't know how many of you know the answer. Today on 23 May 2023, Bollywood actress Preeti Zinta and her husband Jean Goodenough met Dalai Lama in Dharamshala after the hectic schedule of IPL, as they say. The Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism, has been living in India for several decades. His decision to seek refuge in India was a significant turning point in both his life and the political landscape of Tibet. This article explores the reasons behind the Dalai Lama's choice to reside in India and the implications it has had on Tibetan culture, spirituality, and the relationship between India and Tibet. The Chinese occupation. To understand why the Dalai Lama lives in India, we must first delve into the historical context. In 1950, the People's Republic of China invaded Tibet, claiming it as part of its territory. This invasion sparked a period of immense turmoil for Tibetans, as the Chinese government sought to exert control over the region and suppress Tibetan Buddhism and culture. The Dalai Lama, then a young spiritual leader at the age of 15, was thrust into a position of responsibility and had to make a choice that would shape the course of his life. Escape to India. Faced with the escalating repression and violence in Tibet, the Dalai Lama made the difficult decision to flee his homeland in 1959. Accompanied by a group of loyal followers, he embarked on a perilous journey across the treacherous Himalayas, eventually reaching the Indian border. The Indian government, recognizing the dire situation and the importance of preserving Tibetan culture, welcomed the Dalai Lama and provided him with political asylum. Preserving Tibetan culture. One of the primary reasons the Dalai Lama chose India as his new home was the country's long-standing commitment to religious and cultural diversity. India, with its rich history of spiritual traditions, offered a conducive environment for the Dalai Lama to continue his religious teachings and preserve Tibetan culture. By living in India, the Dalai Lama has been able to establish Tibetan Buddhist monasteries, schools, and cultural institutions that serve as important centers of learning and practice. Spiritual and intellectual freedom. In addition to preserving Tibetan culture, the Dalai Lama's residence in India has provided him with the freedom to propagate his spiritual teachings without interference. In contrast to the restrictions imposed by the Chinese government in Tibet, the Dalai Lama has been able to travel internationally and engage with people from all walks of life. His teachings on compassion, mindfulness, and interfaith harmony have resonated with audiences worldwide, fostering a global appreciation for Tibetan Buddhism and the principles of peace and nonviolence. The Tibetan government in exile. India's support for the Tibetan cause is evident in its recognition of the Tibetan government in exile, also known as the Central Tibetan Administration (CTA), headquartered in Dharamshala, Himachal Pradesh. The CTA serves as the political and administrative body representing Tibetans outside of Tibet. Its establishment in India has allowed the Tibetan diaspora to maintain a semblance of governance, ensuring the continuity of the Tibetan struggle for autonomy and the preservation of their unique identity. India's relationship with China. The Dalai Lama's residence in India has occasionally strained India's relationship with China. The Chinese government views India's sheltering of the Dalai Lama as interference in its internal affairs and has repeatedly exerted pressure on India to curtail the Dalai Lama's activities. Nevertheless, India has maintained its position, asserting the Dalai Lama's right to religious freedom and political asylum. People-to-people connection. Beyond politics, the Dalai Lama's presence in India has fostered a deep people-to-people connection between the Indian and Tibetan communities. Indians have embraced Tibetan refugees, offering them support and assistance in various forms. The Tibetan diaspora has contributed to the cultural and economic fabric of India, enriching it with their vibrant traditions and entrepreneurial spirit. Conclusion. The Dalai Lama's decision to live in India has had profound implications for both Tibetan Buddhism and the geopolitical landscape of the region. His presence in India has provided a sanctuary for Tibetan culture and spirituality, allowing it to flourish in exile. Furthermore, it has strengthened the bond between India and Tibet, creating a platform for dialogue, cultural exchange, and the pursuit of mutual understanding. As the Dalai Lama continues to reside in India, his teachings of compassion, peace, and interfaith harmony resonate far beyond the borders of the two nations, inspiring individuals around the world to seek a better future based on understanding and respect.